BYU versus Wisconsin in prime time coming up on Saturday night here at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. I'm Mitch Harper with KSLSports.com. It's going to be a big matchup between the Cougars and Badgers. First meeting between the programs since 2011, just after Jimmer Fredette. They met when BYU was in their first year in the West Coast Conference. Badgers have been holding it down in the Big Ten. They were fourth place in the Big Ten this year. BYU, fourth place in the Big 12. A lot of respect between the programs and maybe a little bit of similarities too. Wisconsin coach Greg Gard noted that he maybe sees a little bit of himself or his team in BYU in the way that they play. Head coach Kevin Young noted that Wisconsin kind of reminds him a little bit of Arizona when BYU was navigating the Big 12 gauntlet. So good offenses are going to be on display here in Denver for this one, and it could be a high-scoring game in the high 80s, maybe even 90s potentially for both teams. It was interesting in the first round, both teams had a little bit of a similar makeup in how they won the game. Both only knocked down 7 threes, around 38, 40 rebounds on the glass, took care of business and won comfortably. This is going to be, I think, a very close game, and really curious to see how BYU performs in this setting because it's the biggest game for the program since Jimmer Fredette in 2011, and that was 14 years ago. And, you know, they seem loose right now. I must say that BYU feels like they're playing with a little bit of house money where they got the win that they were waiting for in the NCAA tournament for so many years. They broke through there. They're a slight underdog against Wisconsin. Should be a really good matchup between the Cougars and Badgers. We heard from BYU players Richie Saunders, heard from Fousseyni Traore, Dawson Baker, Yegor Demin, many players on this BYU team, and they all noted the size of Wisconsin, particularly in the front court, and the challenges of facing big men that can knock down the three. I talked with Foose about that on Friday, and he noted it's going to be a challenge, and it's a new look for BYU because they haven't faced that at all this year. You know, Hunter Dickinson was a guy that could knock down threes, but Wisconsin, they've got bigs that consistently knock them down from deep. So that'll be a new look for the Cougars. I'm curious to see maybe the physicality of Keba Keita, how that shows up again. Keita has been outstanding for BYU in recent games, particularly on the glass and his physicality. He's tried to be a tone setter for this BYU team. He showed that against VCU. We'll see if that carries over against Wisconsin. Second team All-American John Tonje noted that, you know, BYU's got some mature guys, respects them. It's going to be a good matchup. I'm really curious to see who BYU assigns defensively to John Tonje, the former Colorado State Ram and Missouri Tiger in his final season in college basketball, holding it down with the Wisconsin Badgers. You would think that Mawut Mag, a guy that's been in the Big Ten, he was formerly at Rutgers, might get the task with Tonje. In Mawut Mag, he hasn't faced Tonje, but he's familiar with Wisconsin and the Big Ten and the Badgers in particular. We'll see if he gets the call against Tonje on Saturday evening. You know, Mawut Mag had the defensive assignment against Javon Small in West Virginia during the Big 12 grind. Mag's been an ace in the hole defensively for BYU and taking on some of the best players that they face. It's going to be a great matchup. 5:45 p.m. tip here from Denver. It's going to be on CBS and then also on KSL News Radio, only 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. That's the only way you can listen over the air. We'll have extended pregame on KSL News Radio beginning at high noon, myself and Matt Baiamonte from here in Denver. I caught up one-on-one with head coach Kevin Young. You'll want to hear that conversation. Good stuff with the head coach of the Cougars and also all my player interviews, some Wisconsin sound bites, tons of great content. We'll catch up with a Wisconsin insider as well. It's going to be great stuff from here in Denver. Cougs getting ready for the second round for the first time since 2011, and we've got you covered on KSL Sports.